What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. Welcome to our very first waiver wire pickups video of the year. The most injury-prone running back got hurt, Andre Ellington. In week one, a bunch of high draft pick wide receivers put up terrible performances and got hurt, while over a dozen tight ends put up double-digit points, standard scoring. Watching Monday Night Football has taught us that Ron Jeremy loves Hyde, hates Bush, and terrifies Adrian Peterson owners. In this video, I'm going to reveal over 75 waiver wire pickups, including defenses and kickers. I'm going to also answer the Twitter question of the week. And at the end of the video, I have a question for you and some more good stuff, so stay tuned. My top waiver wire pickup for quarterback is Carson Palmer. I like the coach, I like the offense. They're not afraid to throw the ball deep down the field. I like John Brown, and they also throw to the running back position. My number 2 quarterback to pick up is Marcus Mariota. Very high risk pickup here, but don't forget that he's also going to be getting some rush yards, so that's an added bonus. And that'll kind of level things out when he doesn't do so good in the passing game. My number 3 QB to pick up is Tyrod Taylor. Now, he'll probably never have games where he scores 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. Definitely not passing touchdowns. But he'll be good every week. He has a high floor and not too high of a ceiling, but he's a steady quarterback, a great pickup in dual QB leagues, and a great QB2 for your team. Other QBs to pick up are Alex Smith, Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Johnny Manziel. Check the status of Josh McCown before you do that. Danny Woodhead is probably my number 1 running back pickup this week for PPR leagues, followed by Dion Lewis. Now remember, Blunt is coming back, but Dion Lewis is very versatile. He's going to be pretty good. He has more value in PPR leagues. Andre Ellington is hurt, so Chris Johnson is likely to be the starting running back, and David Johnson is likely to back him up. So David Johnson makes for a decent pickup in deeper formats. Okay, the Bills cut Fred Jackson a long time ago, and they recently released Bryce Brown. So Carlos Williams makes for a pretty good pickup. He's great to, as a RB5 for your team, add a little bit of depth to the running back spot. Now, in previous videos, when I revealed some of my strategies, we talked a lot about goal line snaps and goal line carries actually, for running backs. So Anthony Booby Dixon is a decent running back in deep leagues. He is the ideal vulture for Rex Ryan. Lance Dunbar, guys, even more valuable with Dez Bryant out. So I think he's going to be a good pickup in PPR leagues and in leagues that award points for return yards. Ronnie Hillman, at this point, he is a must handcuff for CJ Anderson owners. Decent pickup if you want to add some depth there at running back as well. Buck Allen, that's a sneaky start for this week. If Taliaferro's hurt, he didn't play week 1. So if Tally is hurt for week 2, the Ravens face the Raiders. I see Buck Allen getting at least 10 touches easy this game. Forsett should have a great game too, but I see Buck Allen getting at least 10 touches. Theo Riddick, I was really high on this guy in PPR formats. He got in the end zone. The main reason I'm really high on him, besides that he's talented, he can catch the ball, the Lions offense is decent, is that I see Joique Bell maybe getting hurt. Now when Joique Bell gets hurt, this guy is going to be a beast in PPR formats, I guarantee it. Darren Sproles, another guy kind of like Theo Riddick. He's really good, but he's going to be really inconsistent too. Bilal Powell's not so bad on a team that loves to run so much, the New York Jets. Fred Jackson is a great handcuff to Marshawn Lynch owners. And Jared Hayne goes from being a coma to a sleeper now that Reggie Bush is hurt. Check the status on how Reggie Bush is doing. But before the season started, the Niners put Kendall Hunter on IR. With Reggie Bush hurt, this could make Hayne playing basically the number 2 running back. So keep a close eye on him. He's definitely worth a pickup in 12-man leagues, maybe even 10-man leagues. Terrence West, not a guy I like too much, but he's worth picking up and maybe starting it on those bye weeks and depending on the matchup, if you see him getting some goal line carries and stealing some touchdowns from Sankey. Then I have Matt Jones. I think he's a talented running back, but he's on not so great of a team. And finally, I have Damian Williams. He should be the backup in Miami. Not a great pickup, but if you're in deep leagues and you're desperate, that's a guy to look out for. Just probably don't pick him up, but keep an eye on him. Okay, next year, I promise I will come out with a waiver wire pickups for week 1. I didn't think about doing it because there's no waivers. It's really free agency. But next year I'll do it. So I picked up James Jones. Thankfully, I got him before the season started in the Fantasy Couch League. In the Instagram Experts League, I was able to get Dion Lewis. So I'm pretty happy there. Definitely James Jones is the waiver wire pickup of the week. You should definitely get him if you need a wide receiver. I think just about any team out there should put a claim in for James Jones. Stevie Johnson, another great pickup. He seems like he really fits in with that Chargers offense. Terrence Williams is a great pickup, but I really don't like him much more than Cole Beasley. I think Cole Beasley is a great pickup with Des Bryant out. This guy is really good. So I really like Cole Beasley. If you miss out on Terrence Williams, don't feel bad at all. Just put your second claim in for Cole Beasley. He's going to be really solid. Brandon Coleman, a guy that should be picked up in every league. And Percy Harvin, a high-risk guy, but this is the last guy on my list of wide receivers that should be picked up. These are the obvious guys that need to be claimed off waivers ASAP. Now let's get into some more sleeper wide receiver pickups, some guys that you should pick up in deep leagues or keep an eye on. Definitely not must pickups, especially in 10-man leagues. Tavon Austin, great pickup. I see him getting a lot of playing time this year, and definitely you must pick him up if your league awards points for return yards. Dante Moncrief makes for a decent pickup, and so does Philip Dorsett. I like Leonard Hankerson. I see him getting a little bit more targets throughout the year, and Roddy White has had some trouble staying healthy. Marlon Brown, as of now, seems to be the number 2 wide receiver in Baltimore. Danny Amendola is a decent pickup. DHB is a decent pickup, while Martavius Bryant is suspended. Tyler Lockett, I know you guys like that sexy pick right there. Harry Douglas on the Titans is good. I still think DGB is worth a stash. Probably wouldn't keep him if he doesn't play at all, or doesn't get any targets, receptions, whatever. If he doesn't do anything by when the bye weeks are hitting your team hard, you may want to drop him. But he's definitely worth a stash for at least a couple more weeks. Let's see what he does. He had a lot of talent and looked pretty good in preseason. Maybe a little bit raw, but definitely talented guy. Pierre Garçon should now be owned in every single league. I was surprised that he's not owned in a ton of leagues. This was a guy that I actually did pretty much avoid in every draft, though. But now that Deshaun Jackson's out, looking like he's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks, Garçon's a must pick up. And in much deeper formats, Andre Roberts on Washington is also worth a pickup. The 49er, Bruce Ellington's worth a look at. Probably don't want to pick him up, except if you're in a 16-man league or deeper. And a wide receiver to drop to make room would be someone like Greg Jennings. I would definitely drop in almost every league. Tight ends to pick up. This pains me to see this guy wasn't picked up in, wasn't owned in over 90% of leagues. Tyler Eifert. Is hands down in everyone's ranking a top 12 tight end, much higher in some cases. So I don't know why he's not owned in every league. He should be. So actually, one reason I do know is in the Instagram Experts League, which was on ESPN, he was ranked so low. These terrible Josh Hill was drafted several rounds before him. He was just ranked so low, and I was able to get him at the second to last pick. Round 15 is when I drafted Eifert in the Instagram Experts League, and luckily I started him week 1. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, this guy is good. If he needs to work on his skills a little bit more and settle down a little bit more, he'll have a lot of time because he'll have a lot of targets coming to him on that team. I see him being really good this year. Jordan Reed is also a great tight end. He'll see a lot of targets. He'll be great if he can stay healthy. We know he has trouble staying healthy. Eric Ebron, I have my doubts about this guy, but I like what I saw week 1. So he definitely should be owned as a tight end 2, likely in your league. Wow, this is a sleeper tight end. The Cardinals. I did my research on this guy, but I had my doubts. I just didn't want to waste a pick on him. But he looks pretty good, and he fits in that offense well. So keep an eye out on Darren Fells. Richard Rodgers, Charles Clay, and Scott Chandler are also interesting options that are worth keeping an eye on. In shallow leagues, feel free to drop Larry Donnell, and I'd probably drop Josh Hill from a 12-man league. Maybe not a 14-man or 16-man, but I'd probably drop him in my 12-man league. Well, I don't own him, but, you know, if I did. For those of you streaming defenses, I preached that the Cardinals were a great defense. For some reason, about only half fantasy leagues own him. I don't know what's up with that, but definitely Cardinals at Chicago is a great defense. Not even streaming, just pick him up, and you probably want to keep him on your roster for a while. The Chiefs defense, same exact thing goes with there. I like how they played week 1. They face Peyton Manning, the old Peyton Manning, not the Peyton Manning that won the Super Bowl a few years back. So I like them as a stream option, and also someone you may want to keep on your roster. Patriots, not a great long-term option, not an ideal long-term option, but they do face the Bills. The Bills probably won't put up a ton of points against them. They're a decent stream. Also, the Lions going up against the terrible Vikings. Well, they were terrible week 1. We'll see if they can turn it around. The Saints going up against Jameis Winston, and the Titans going up against the Boo Boo Browns. I think the top 4 defenses that'll put up the most points this week is going to be the Texans, Ravens, Dolphins, and the Rams. And of course, Deshaun Jackson is out when the Rams face Washington. And the moment you've all been waiting for, my top 10 waiver wire pickups at the kicker position. My number 1 kicker to pick up is Brandon McManus. I love when this guy's kicking it, booting the ball in Denver with that high altitude. And my number 2 kicker is the Saints kicker, Hawker, followed by the Bills kicker. Then we have the Niners kicker, Chandler Catanzaro of the Cardinals, Greg the Leg Zerline of the Rams, Nick Folk, Randy Bullock, Josh Brown. I think he may be, that Giants team is really unpredictable, but he's a decent kicker. And the kicker on the Dolphins, Andrew Franks. To make room for these kickers, you may want to drop Blair Walsh, who's had an incredible rookie year. Dropped off a little bit, then dropped off a lot, and he's been terrible preseason and didn't look too good week 1 either. If you want me to answer your question on the next video, the best time to get me the question is by Monday or sometimes early Tuesday morning at the latest, and make sure you use hashtag AskTheBrain. Let's go to our Twitter question of the week. It looks like the co-founder of Fantasy Couch and also the number 1 best Manny Pacquiao impersonator in the world, Mike Mittal, has a question and wanted to get a second opinion on something. Mike asks, should I trade away AP for Julio? 10-man PPR, hashtag AskTheBrain. This was a tough choice right here. I'm really high on valuable running backs. They can get hurt. And we discussed this, and we both agreed that he should make this trade. I said earlier in a video that if one wide receiver were to beat out Antonio Brown for the number 1 wide receiver this year, it would be Julio Jones. And I think he will. I really do. And in a PPR, you just got to do this. He's actually writing an article right now. It'll probably be up by the time you guys watch this video. So you can click on the link below in the description. I have a link to that article, so check that out. And it'll tell you, you know, what's his team, who's the team he's trading with. I'll do the trade. Hope it goes through. Now, I have a question for you. Will Adrian Peterson score 10 or more fantasy points against the Lions in week 2? Leave a comment below with your answer, yes or no. Will Adrian Peterson get double-digit fantasy points? And I'll reply and let you know what I think. And that's all the time we have for this video. Make sure you guys watch this video where Mike Mittal does the best Manny Pacquiao impersonation. This video is absolutely hilarious. You have to check it out. Also, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be coming out with your weekly waiver wire videos, of course, every Tuesday, and my DFS picks every Wednesday. So make sure you check that out. You know what happened last week on the DFS videos? We hit goal. So check that out. Also check out fantasycouch.com for that new article I was talking about, and also the weekly fantasy woes. I'll see you guys on the next video.